Hello everyone. On my last video, I said I built the perfect ship in Starfield. Now, in my opinion, it's still perfect, but some of you have pointed out that the two engines at the front do not make sense. And I think I get it. Even though it's a game, we want to keep it as realistic as possible. So it's a fair point. And you're right, the two engines at the front exhausting to the back doesn't make a lot of sense. And to that, I say, I got you. I got you. So let me now present to you version 2 of the perfect ship. So here it is. I made the first major modification, which is to have all 6 engines at the back. And I organized them in this kind of like a diamond, I don't know what you want to call it, but this kind of arrangement, a semi-diamond type of thing going on. And because I put all the engines to the back, I had to make a few adjustments at the front. And I think it's still coming out to be pretty good looking. I think it is still a pretty good looking, may I say, a perfect ship. So we're gonna do an overview. I'm gonna show you guys all the numbers. Again, just like the last time, I pay attention to everything, the numbers, the stats. I'm going to start with an overview first. We're gonna take a look at the numbers, and then I show you guys the interior. And finally at the end, I'm gonna take it apart, show you guys all the parts, everything that you need to build the ship or to modify your previous version into this one if you prefer this version more. Alright, so let's start with the numbers. I kept the weapons the same weapons as the last time. I didn't feel that there was any need to change those weapons. I like them. I like the color scheme. Everything matches. And the numbers are actually pretty nice. Like a really even. 1615 hull, 1600 shield, 5000 even on cargo, 12 max crew for some reason. I know that the maximum I think is 8, like a 9 with Sarah, but I don't know why the game, allows this number to keep going up. But anyway, jump range 30, mobility 100, 130 top speed, and the mass, look at that, 4010. At one point during the build, I managed to just keep the mass at the even 4000. I gotta say, I almost stopped there. But there were a few things that I wanted to change, so you know what, 4010, it's okay too, it's not too bad. But the main thing here, I think, is the engine. I do think that this way does look pretty good, honestly. I gotta say that the back does look better. And just like the previous build, I have plenty of braking engines, a few less than before, but the braking engines are still there, mostly because of the effect that they generate when in space. I do like that quite a lot. So at least we still have a few braking engines. Another thing that I modified from the previous version was the landing bay. So I decided to choose this landing bay that you go straight in instead of up. One disadvantage is that now you have an extra ladder, because the second floor and the third floor, I made it so there are no ladders. Basically, you use the stairs from the cockpit to go from one floor to the other. So having this level below, it does introduce that extra ladder, which is another thing that I minimize in this build. But I did try to make those ladders as fun as possible by adding windows. So you know what, let's just go to the interior and let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, as I come in, I just put this 1x1 companionway just for the stairs to be here, but I tried to make it as nice as possible. So I put a window on the floor below the ladder, and also surrounded this 1x1 with windows as well. The view is not the greatest, but you know what, it's still a little bit better than having walls. I do use corridors quite a lot in this build, not just because of the look. I think it gives the ship a more spaceship vibe, but also to get rid of some of the ladders that otherwise the game would probably put. Okay, and over here I have this 1x1 storage room. It is here just so I can go to the living quarters. This is a 2x2 living quarters from Stroud, my favorite. I have to have this in pretty much every build that I have. More windows here. I managed to put another window here. View not the greatest, but in space it's a little bit better. And I also have another window at the back. This one is better view, not as obstructed as the other one. And I think that's it. That's all I was able to put in terms of windows here. And on the other side, I have the 2x2 battle station, another one of my favorites, very nice. Same thing, windows, one here, another one in the corner. And yeah, so now let's go to the second floor. So up here, the second floor, same thing. This is another storage room. So over there goes to the cockpit. So we're gonna go to the back first. I have another corridor here, just like the floor below. This is now a Deimos 1x1. I think it's also a storage room. And here I have them linked to the workshop. I also managed to put two windows here. The views are kind of okay. You know, this view kind of sucks, but you know, I think windows at least makes the interior look a little bit nicer. And on the other side, I have the science lab for all the pharmaceuticals, research, all that stuff. And again, the windows on the corner. Now at the back here, another corridor, and this one just goes to another companionway just for the docker. This is just absolutely just for the docker, nothing else. And you do have another window here at the back. I like this window at the very back. This one looks much better. Okay, we can go to the front, and there is the cockpit. This one that I'm using here, this is a 2x2 living quarters from Nova, and I like it for two reasons. Number one, this is very open, no furniture in the middle, so you can just go straight into the cockpit with no obstructions. That is something that I like a lot. I put another window here, and then I also like it because of the pool table here. And yes, we had a discussion already about having a pool table in a spaceship, and in theory this works because the spaceship has its own gravity. So technically, I guess in theory, no matter how you're flying, it's always going to be flat and level, I think. I mean, anybody who is a scientist can maybe confirm this. I mean, so anyway, so that's just all right. So on the other side, I just put a 2x1, only one berth. This is also from Nova, and the reason why I put it is because this one has a research station here and a smaller navigation console, as well as a galley here that you can use it to cook food and things like that. So that's why this one is here. All right, and let's go now to the cockpit. One of my favorites, great views all around, the windows super big. I just wish this center were a little bit lower so it doesn't feel so claustrophobic and able to kind of, you know, walk to the front a little bit more. But other than that, you know, it's still a good cockpit. And after that, I have a control station. This is a 2x1 control station from Nova. The middle, no furniture, very open, very easy to walk. Everything is on the side, so I love it. And another corridor here, one more corridor, and then here I have this Deimos all-in-one berth, and this is, I believe, is a 2x1. Put some windows here, beautiful. I think this is a much better view, you know, and also very open. No furniture, nothing in the middle, so very easy to walk. And I put at the very end another companionway. This is the last one, and this one I put a window at the very top. So the one at the bottom has a window at the bottom of the ladder, and this one has a window at the top of the ladder. One way to, I guess, make ladders less obnoxious. At least when you go up, you know, you can see the sky and the space and all that stuff. So anyway, once you come up, I have another corridor. The last one, I promise, and this leads to the captain's quarters. This is Tayo captain's quarters. The one by one here is also Tayo. And I just like to have these captain's quarters at the very top with windows, all four windows basically all around, except for another window here. That would be fantastic, but the outside design suffers quite a bit if I put a window here. So yeah, except for the duct at the ceiling, other than that, I like this quite a lot. So alright, so that's it for the interior. Let's go now. I'll show you guys how to put this all together. Okay, so I have now the ship split into different layers, different parts, and I'm going to put on screen the shopping list of all the unique parts that you're going to have to get at specific locations to do this. I'm only putting the unique parts, not all the parts. So here's how I suggest you should do it. Go to each of these locations, grab those unique parts, and just attach them to the ship that you're using, Frankenstein style. And after you get all the parts, go to your outpost, go to your large landing pad where you can do the actual building there, so that you have all the structural parts in one location. That is how I suggest you should do this. I will also put the list in the description as well, so you can just copy paste it to something else. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's start with the bottom layer here. It is a little bit more complicated, I feel like, this build than some of the previous ones that I've done, because yeah, we put a lot of things in a lot of places. Giggity. Okay, let's start from the bottom layer first, and this first part here we have is the ship bed 200 landing bay. This is the one from Tayo. It's the one that you can go straight to the ship. And follow that we have a storeroom. You don't have to make this a storeroom, you can make it a companionway. It doesn't matter, because the part that sits above this is a companionway, so there is going to be a ladder here. After that we have the Hab Spine. This is the corridor that leads to a storeroom. Now this one, make sure to keep it as a storeroom so that you don't introduce a ladder. So I use the Tayo storeroom bottom B, mostly because of the interior. It's all white and it's pretty bright, so that's why I like the Tayo for here. And on each side it is flanked by a 2x2 from Stroud. So on this side I have the battle station, on the other side I have the living quarters. Behind that there is a NG20, a landing gear. Behind that is the docker, and I use the one from Deimos and I flip it so that it faces the bottom. And behind that I have a Deimos belly. This one is just structure. Now on each side of the docker I have another NG20 landing gear, one on each side. This is a different variation of this one, so once you highlight it and you hit space, you can use the arrow to turn it into a different variant. So I use this one, and the reason I use this one is because I need to attach a container, a shielded cargo on the side, and I am using the 200 cm ballast shielded cargo, one on each end. So there's one here, there's another one here, and that's why this one was changed to this variation. So next to the Hab Spine you have two landing gears, although even though they're here, they attach to the next level, so just keep that in mind. They go here, but they are attaching to the Hab on the second level, not to the Hab Spine. So these are the Deimos landing gears, and you have two on each. Next to the Stroud storeroom here, we have another two more NG20 landing gears, and also these two are attaching to the second floor. They do not attach to the side of this. And in front, next to the landing bay, we have these two landing gears, the Hope 5 landing gear from Hopetech, and again also these two attached to the second floor, not to the side of this one. Then we have a weapon mount one on each side, Nova weapon mounts, and the weapons I'm using are the PBO300 Auto Alpha and then a PB175 Helion beam. Two mounted here and the other fours are all mounted here on the bottom level, and that's it. Then the only thing left is below the companionways, a porthole on each, and then more portholes on each side of the storeroom. So that is it for the first level. Now the next level. So now we have the Nova Galactic Living Quarters. This is the 2x2, the one with the pool table. Next to that is the 2x1 only one berth from Nova Galactic as well. Behind that we have the companionway. This is the one that links to this one, so they're on the same line. And behind that another Hopetown Hab Spine. Behind that another storeroom. Make sure that this one is a storeroom so you do not introduce a ladder here. And then on each side we have the 2x1s, the science lab and the workshop. Behind that we have another Hopetown Spine. This leads to a companionway. This one can be a companionway or storeroom, it doesn't matter. It is just for the docker to come up. On the side of the front we have two Deimos wings, the wing A and the wing D. These are just structure, and then we have the helium tanks. These are the 500T helium tanks, 210 on each. So we have two of those. Portholes here, portholes there. And then behind that we have this, the Helion S202 cargo hold, and I have two. Now make sure the attachment thing is facing out because this needs to attach to the engine, to the other parts. And behind that are the engines, of course. Now the engines, the top sits flush, so the bottom will connect to the first level. So make sure that the top is all sitting flush. And at the back here there is another porthole. This is for the docker for when you enter. So let's see, so let's grab this and let's put it back, and let's just make sure that this aligns to this, and you should be good. So let me see, align there, perfect. The landing gear has to be in between these two things, so you should not have any problems putting this thing back. And porthole is here, perfect. So that is that. Now let's go to the engines. I have here the engine. This one is a structure, is the tire midcap, the top. This one is the tire braking engine. Now the one below here is actually a cargo hold. It's the Helion S203 cargo hold. It is not another tire midcap flip. Just wanted to save space, so this kind of fits perfect. You don't even notice, so keep in mind that these two are not the same part. Same thing on the other side. So you grab this and now we can put it here. Hold on, I think this goes here. Yeah, this goes here. Perfect. So this should align at the back. It should be flush, but it is kind of in diagonal when you put it in. Perfect. So the other one can also come in here, and this is the part that I was saying before, why you need, this one out, because it's the engine. This is the only thing that attaches to that. So there we go. So okay, so that's that, and then we have this wing that goes to the side, and this is just all structural. So you have the Stroud cap A, so top and bottom flipped. We also have the Stroud cooling, the 1LA, and these two are the same. This one is just a different variant of this one. If I switch this, now it becomes the same variant. So it's just a different variant, just so that I can attach this part at the top, so that you can get this kind of smooth connection to the Deimos tail at the back. And below that, this is the Stroud engine mount. This is flip to the bottom. You will probably see this one, and then you just flip it until it becomes the bottom one. And then below that is the Deimos belly. So that one is down there. So we grab this and we can put it there, and everything at the back should be kind of flush aligned. So same thing with this one, is exactly the same. and goes in and boom, perfect. All right, next go to the next floor, which is the third floor. So the third floor, the cockpit overhangs, so attaches to the second floor, of course. So we have the Cabot C4 Bridge. I went with the one with cargo 320 just so I can reach this even number. So if you care about the 5,000 cargo even number, get the one that has 320. If you don't care about that, get whichever you prefer. So after that, we have the Nova Galactic 2x1. This is a control station. Behind that, the Hopetech Hab Spine, another one. Behind that, the 2x1 only one berth from Deimos, and behind that we have another storeroom. This storeroom actually will link to the companionway on the next floor. So it can be a storeroom or you can make this one a companionway. It doesn't matter, I think. It's all good. Okay, so on the side I have another helium tanks. These are the M20 Ulysses helium tanks. Then this one is a Nova radiator, just a structural. And here is a Nova braking engine, just a structural one. And of course, two portholes, one on each side. And I also put another porthole here at the top. And that's it for this level. So this can just go in here. So yeah, that's why I was saying that this one doesn't matter, because below that is the Hab Spine. So it doesn't matter if you make it into a companionway or not. The ladder will only go to the top, it will not go to the bottom. And the helium tanks, they attach to the second floor. So okay, final level, we are almost there. Now we have here the weapon mount. So the remaining weapons are here, the PBO 300 Alphas, and we have some new weapons. These are the MKE-9A auto Gauss gun. So I have 3 of those. 2 are here, another one here over a weapon mount, the equipment plate. So this one goes here. And then here is the Tayo Captain's Quarters 2x1. This is the top B. I use the top B because it's round. Tayo, their Habs, they divide between top, mid, and bottom. This one is the top, so it kind of rounds the corner, the edges a little bit more. And of course, portholes. And behind that, another Hab Spine. And behind that, a companionway. Behind that, we have the J52 Gamma Grav drive. And then this one, the SS40 Reactor. So yeah, you can upgrade this one if you prefer. I'm probably gonna just leave it at this one. What else? Okay, the engines. So we have the Tayo mid cap at the top. Now this one below is actually another mid cap. It's just the same one but flipped. The braking engine and the engine at the back. So same thing on the other side. At the top, I just have a couple of structures just for the comm spike and what is it, the conduction grid. So this is the Deimos Spine A and the Deimos Spine C, and they give you some damage reductions. So reduces EM damage by 50% and increases shield regeneration by 25%, so that's kind of good. And this one gives you time to lock in onto enemy ships is reduced by 25%, and weapons cost 20% less to use in targeting mode. So yeah, I kept these two because yeah, there is no other way to get them. There's the shield here, the SG1800. And that is it for this one. We can now highlight this and bring it in. Okay, so this goes in here. And the engine goes in here. Now keep in mind, once you put the engine, make sure that this one actually goes forward a little bit, forward by 1, because you can put it on the same level flash, but I don't think it looks as good for some reason. Moving it forward a little bit, kind of, I don't know, it looks better, right? But it's your choice. If you want to move backwards, that's fine. But I kind of like it this way quite a bit, so I'm going to just leave it like that. So there you have it. The ship is now finished, complete. So this is version 2. Let me know what you guys like, this version or the other one. Let me exit out of here. So this is the new one, right? And this is the Frontier, the previous version. So with the engines, 2 here in the front instead of everything at the back. I do think that the back looks better on this second version than the first version. I do think, yeah, oh, this is just kind of boring, you know, all in line. But this actually looks pretty good. But then the front and this side is a little bit empty. I tried using other structures to make this better and nothing made it better. This was, I think, the most okay as possible. The front, this one looks actually pretty good, having these two bigger engines kind of at the back. It just, you know, yeah, it doesn't make sense. I get it. But yeah. Anyways, let me know which one you guys prefer. Version 1, version 2. I mean, they're both great. I mean, the stat-wise, they're both fantastic. And these two videos are back to back. So you guys pick whichever you prefer. You can follow that video. So anyway, that is it for the video. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy the game. Have fun. I love you all. I'll see you in the next video.